Today I'll do my weight and measurements update. Hi, welcome. My name's Tina, and if you're new here, I had traditional duodenal switch surgery on June 9th of 2020. I'm currently 41 weeks out from my surgery, and today I will share my weight update and my measurements update. Today, this morning, I weighed 188 pounds, and that's what I weighed last week. And I kind of feel like I'm going to stay here for a while, and that's fine. I've been doing this for, over 9 months now. So I think my body's probably getting used to losing weight, and I expect to have these drops and stalls, and I mean, not really stalls, but just things are going to slow down. And I haven't been even close to this low in my weight since I was in my maybe my teens. So my body has a lot of adjusting, obviously. Today I wanted to share my measurements, and this is something that's really important. And every time I do these, I just really encourage everybody to do them, because I hate doing my measurements, and I've always hated doing my measurements. And I'll share this story. The reason that I hate doing my measurements is because at one point in my life, I tried to take my measurements, and I had a tape measure that was 60 inches long, and I couldn't get it around my hips. And at that time, it was just devastating to me that I could not get an ordinary, tape measure around my body. It was terrible. And I have it still really makes me sad. I mean, I was trying to take my measurements. Obviously at that point I was trying to make some changes or do something about it, and I couldn't even get that. And just knowing that an ordinary measurement or ordinary tape measurement an ordinary tape measure could not fit around my hips was it's just devastating. But I took my measurements the best I could, and I don't know what happened to those, but what I want to say is the first time I took my measurements during this whole process, I wrote it down. It was February 20th. The first time I met with Dr. Srikanth was February 19th, I believe, or that Friday, whatever it was, but of 2020. And so I have those measurements, and at that time I weighed 282 pounds. And I have all of my measurements of that day, and I am so glad that I did that. And it wasn't hard. It wasn't easy for me. I didn't like it. I don't like looking, it was, when I was that big, it's just really hard to look at the numbers. That was not my top weight. My top weight ever in my life was 340 pounds. That was probably the time where I couldn't get a tape measure around my hips. But anyway, I'm so happy that I did that, because when my weight loss is going slow and it's just not, when you're in the really, really rapid weight loss part after surgery, the first maybe 6 months or less, and it's just every time you get on the scale, it's a pretty big jump. It's different, but when you're 6 months, 9 months, whatever out, it's kind of, you're still losing, but it's just very slow. So seeing your measurements is really, really helpful. And so I'm going to share those with you. So I did this, the last time I did this was on January 12th. So today is March 23rd. So I'm going to share my current measurements and how they're different from January 12th, which is the last time I took the measurements, and also how they're different from the first time I took my measurements, which is right before, the first time I met Dr. Srikanth. Here we go. So my neck today was 12.5 inches. This is the same as it was in January. It's 1 inch smaller than it was a year ago in February. My biceps are 1.5 inches smaller than they were January 12th. They're 2.5 inches smaller than they were last February, 2020. My forearm is 1/2 inch smaller. My breast, so, well, okay, my bust, like underneath my breast, is the same as it was in January. I'm 3.5 inches smaller than I was in February of 2020. My breast, I'm 1 inch down. I have a total of 6 inches lost from my breast. My waist is 1.5 inches from January and 7.5 inches from February of 2020. My hips are 45.5, which was the same as it was in January. So total down for my hips is 11.5. My thighs are down 1 inch. My knee is down 1.5 inches. My upper calf is the same, so down a total of 5. My lower calf is down a total of 2. My ankle and my calves are the same as January. So when I add all that up and to subtract it from these different dates, so my total inches lost from today, March 23rd, the last time I took them was January 12th. So my total inches lost off of my entire body since January 12th of 2021 is 7 inches. Now I've only lost about maybe 9 pounds since then. So I've lost 9 pounds on the scale. I've lost 7 inches off my body. So do you see why it's important to take your measurements? Because 7 inches, that's significant. But this is the big number. So my measurements today, minus the measurements that I took the very, very start of my journey, January of 2020, I'm down 61.5 inches. 61.5 inches off of my entire body between today and February of 2020. So that's just about a year and a year and 3 weeks. 61.5 inches. That's just incredible. And the fact that I've lost 7, so I'm consistently, even though the scale isn't moving like it was, I'm still consistently losing weight, right? I've lost 7 inches off my body since January. So I'm happy. I wish that I wish I was closer to my goal weight. I'm still a little bit antsy and have a little bit of anxiety about reaching my 1 year point and what my weight's going to look like that day. Because I in my head, I really wanted to lose 100 pounds the first year. I don't think that's going to happen. I think I can deal with it if it doesn't happen, but I'm going to be disappointed and kind of sad. But the fact that I've lost 61.5 inches since the very first start of this journey is just wonderful. And my clothes are fitting better. I'm shopping for smaller clothes. I keep taking huge bags full of clothes that just fall off of me to Value Village or the thrift store out here because it just feels like clutter now. I saved one pair of jeans that are size 24. Those aren't my biggest jeans, but those are just a pair of jeans that I saved so that whenever I get to my goal weight, I can put them on and do the whole, the normal picture of this is how far my pants are or whatever. So I saved one pair of jeans, but I really am not into saving my old clothes. I know I have talked to a few people on these boards that want to do some kind of marketplace type thing where we can exchange our clothes, which I think is a great idea. I don't know how to get that whole thing facilitated, and postage is so expensive, and I don't know. If I had really, really just extremely valuable clothes, I would probably think more about it. But a lot of the clothes I had was just very, very cheap because I wasn't happy with my body. I didn't want to spend a lot of money on clothes because I didn't feel good about myself. So I just put on whatever, and so that's where I am with my old clothes. But I'm just happy every time I feel kind of down about my weight loss or down about how things are going. If I take my measurements, I feel so much better. And so again, take your measurements at the very, very beginning and I just write everything down in this booklet, and then it's just my little appointment book. Write the date and take all of the measurements, and then just don't just write it in something that you're going to keep, and you won't regret it. It's really important, and it really does help when things start slowing down a lot. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I didn't tell you my weight. Oh yeah, I did. My weight today is 188 pounds. So I'll put the whole how many pounds I've lost since whatever dates in my Dropbox, like I always do. But yeah, this was good. It feels good to take your measurements and to see that huge change, that huge number. I mean, 7 inches since January. January is not that, 3 months ago. So 7 inches, that's a chunk. And the most of it is in, my problem areas, like my thighs. That's where I want to lose my weight. So, I mean, yes, I've lost a lot in my breasts area. But my thighs are the worst part. So if I'm losing weight in my thighs, awesome. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you take your measurements, and I hope you having a great day, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel, and thanks. Bye.